Hello, happy Soul Food Sunday. This is Dr. Gadson just coming to share a moment with you. I'm coming from ABRA Health and also BodySalsa.store, your nutrition headquarters. Today I just wanted to come and continue these talks that I've been having with you guys and make sure that you're really on point right now through this pandemic to get the things that you need to get in order for you to reach and get to the place that I know that you can get to. I know together that we can make this world a better place for our children, for our families, for our communities, and for everybody that we come into contact with. Today, I want to continue about the brain. I was talking last week on Soul Food Sunday with you guys, and I was explaining the different things that happen with the brain, right? You have your animalistic brain, and then you have your more developed, thoughtful brain. And your animalistic brain is the one that's always kept you living, kept you surviving, is the more instinctual one that you can do certain things and act in certain ways without thinking. The other one, of course, is the one that is going to require some thoughts, some processing, and then analyzing and then moving forward through certain events. So now that we understand that we have two different parts of the brain, and if you didn't get this information last week, please go back, review my material. It will explain everything that I am talking about to catch you up to speed and also share it with somebody else so that they can understand and it can just be this event where everybody is increasing. So what I was talking about is that animalistic part of the brain and also that thinking part of the brain. And now what we're going to talk about is once we start learning things with that thinking part of the brain, regardless of what it is, the body and the mind remembers. So if it's an happy event, if it's a sad event, if it's an indifferent event, if it's a tragic event, it does not matter. The brain and the body is going to remember. And the more that we end up going through an event, or the more that we end up doing a certain thing, what happens? We become more accustomed to it. We become more desensitized to it. And then to the point where it becomes second nature. Why? Because it moves from your cognitive level of thinking, where you're aware of certain things that are going on, and the certain actions that you're taking and doing. Then it moves to your subconscious mind and your level of thinking and doing things where it becomes automatic. I know a lot of you out there has probably driven a stick shift before. If you can recall back to the first time that you drove a standard vehicle, there was probably a lot of shaking, a lot of jerking, and the car probably even turned off on you as you begin to learn how to drive that stick shift. But as time went on, you were probably able to shift in and out of gear smoothly without the car stalling out on you, without jerking on you. You learned to come off of the clutch correctly. And then there's probably even a time where you could even still do all of that, drive with one hand, take a drink of a soda, tap the clutch again, tap the shifter again, keep rolling, talk, have a conversation, and maybe even look at your phone if you needed to. Why? Because what has happened is all of those steps, even though you weren't aware of them anymore, has moved from your conscious level of thinking to your subconscious level of thinking. Today, I'm here to get real with y'all. This is the same way that everything happens. But most importantly, the things that satisfy our principal pleasures in our brain, food, certain types of drugs, right? Sex, so on and so forth, is the certain things that get grabbed and into our subconscious even that much faster, and that we hold on to them. That's why it's so difficult to move on and get rid of certain vices or certain setbacks and strongholds that has kept us in certain positions where we keep circling that mountain over and over again, where we find ourselves trapped in Egypt over and over again, and we just can't figure out how it is that we can actually break through these strongholds, these vices that have us in bondage and keep us from getting the things that you want. Right now, you guys have time, plenty of time, more time than you usually have probably because of this pandemic. It's giving you a time to step back. A lot of you aren't working out there. And then when you are working, you're back home. You're not doing a lot of those leisure activities that you normally would do when you are around a group of people congregating, right? But I want to tell you guys that this, because you're not doing that, does not mean that this is a bad time. And it does not mean that this should be time wasted. This is an opportunity for you. It is a shift that is going on, right, globally, worldwide, where people are going to be able, if they take the time to analyze themselves, the people around them, and the things that they have been doing. So today I wanted to talk to you about vices. And typically every person has 3 vices. It's typically 3 things that hold us back from accomplishing, reaching, and obtaining the things that we actually want. And if you are not aware of your vices, that's where we're going to start. Because a lot of people have these vices, and although they may be aware of them, sometimes what do? They pack them back up, they box them up, they put the lock on the box, and they throw them in the closet. Because they don't want to address them, they don't want to see them, they don't want to hear about them. Today, let's get down where the rubber meets the road. Let's get you guys to go ahead and get out a sheet of paper and write down your 3 vices. What are the 3 things that stop you from getting the things that you want? The things that your heart is crying out for. The thing that your mind is drifting off to when you're dreaming. When you're dreaming of being more. When you're dreaming of being better. When you're dreaming of being great. When you're dreaming of being who you can actually be. I know my 3 things. You should know your 3 things out there. We all have 3 things that are probably unique to us, our upbringings, and our personality. Why? Because these things usually once were a crutch for us. At some type of time, at some type of moment, it held us up, it kept us up, and it supported us. But now, instead of it supporting us, it's turned into our go-to, and we're using it so much that it is actually destroying us. So take the time to write down those 3 things. Now that you have those 3 things written down, I want you to think about what is it that you can do to combat those 3 things. And this is going to take being intimate and being real with yourself. And I know this work, you're not going to be able to do it completely all during this talk that I'm doing. But I want you guys to write down the steps, and I want you to revisit it. And I want you guys actually to be revisiting this every day. So you have your 3 vices. I want them written down. Then you have the 3 things that you are going to employ to combat those vices. Once you've identified the vices and you've identified the 3 things that you are going to employ, I want you to come up with a start date. And then I want you to come up with an end date of when it is that you are actually going to work past those 3 things so you can start getting the things that you want to receive and that you actually deserve in your life. So you have the 3 vices, write them down. The 3 things that you're going to do to combat them. When are you going to start doing those 3 things to combat the 3 items, right? And also, when are you going to overcome those vices? That's some basic things. I want you to put these vices somewhere where you are going to see them daily. You may want to write them on your phone where it's a screensaver, where you have your 3 vices and you have the 3 things that you are going to do to combat them. But I want you to be looking at your 3 vices and looking at the 3 things that you are going to be using to combat those 3 vices, and making sure that you're employing those things throughout the day. Making sure that you're cognitively focusing in on those vices and the 3 things you make sure that are following, that are going to protect you and buffer you and stop you from engaging in those 3 things. If you get about a week into this and you see and you start to, I'm having problems, you know what? I have a plan. This plan isn't working. It's probably time to seek out a professional. You guys, I'm always here for you. You can reach out and reach me on Psychology Today. Just look up ABRA Health or Dr. Gadson. I'm out there. That's my handle. It's pretty simple. I'm here to give you feedback. I'm here to give you help. I also will give you a referral and tell you of some different people that can possibly work with you if I'm not able to work with you myself. But I want to encourage you. This is the time. This is the moment for you to get up, to stand up and step your game up and get the things that you want out of life. When it's all said and done, you don't have anybody to blame for things that don't go right in your life but yourself. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired of hearing people complain about things that are not going right in their life and other people that have control over their life and their destiny and who it is that they are and what it is that they're going to become. Yes, let's keep it real. There are obstacles. Yes, there's obstacles and things that you are going to have to work through, right? There's obstacles and things that society is going to throw at you, right? There's obstacles and things that your own family may throw at you, right? But the thing is it's all up to you. If you want to do it, you're going to do it. If you don't want to do it, you ain't going to do it. It's that simple. So I want you guys to go out. If you need some help, go ahead, hit me up. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, right? Make sure you're sharing this with your friends and your family. If you need a referral or you need some help maybe from me, you can look me up on Psychology Today. Go ahead and reach out. I want to make sure that everybody is out there increasing, especially people who really need this. So you got your 3 vices. You got your 3 things to combat. You got when you're going to start combating those 3 things and when you're going to get over it. Now, I done soaked you up. I done gave you what you need to reach and do what it is that you need to do to make it do what it do. So that being said, happy Soul Food Sunday again, y'all. Food for your mind. And make sure that you're out there taking care of yourself so that you can take care of others. And we'll be talking real soon.